To me especially, I think Martinsville's always had such a special place in my heart. Just, I think I ran my first late model race there when I was 15 years old. And I mean, it's just growing up in late model stocks, like to me, that was like the biggest race. So, going to Martinsville then, I was really close. The second year I went there in late models, and then we always ran well there in the trucks. And then to finally able to win one that was it was so special. Like I said, to me, it's probably one of the coolest trophies up there for top five coolest in the Cup Series, I would say.
The dirt debate is still going on. You had another great finish on Sunday night. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I might be the unpopular opinion, but I mean, I've always loved it. I feel like it's just so much fun. It's definitely really tough. I think, to see guys just spin out on their own. I spun out, all half spun out, almost spun out on my own there in stage one. It just, I mean, it's very challenging. And it kind of, at some points, it's maybe not the best look, but when you see the clips of the guys running three wide for the lead, throwing big slide jobs, like it's just so much different than what we normally do. To me, that's a really cool and fun departure of the normal. But yeah, I mean, I will say these cars probably aren't made for dirt, but to me, they've been always so much fun to drive on dirt.
And how much improvement have you seen at front row over last year?
Yeah, I think especially on my team, I think it's just been really cool to see Ryan Bergenning take charge of our team. Kind of set expectations high, set the standard high for our team, our guys, and it's just been really cool to watch. From the beginning of the season still didn't go well, and to see guys like I don't know if this is going to work or whatever, and then just the last 4 weeks have been really really good for my team. Just it's been a lot of the same guys that have been beaten down for years. And this Cup Series is really tough. It can still happen just as easily, this weekend. So just got to enjoy the good times, and it shows the hard work's paying off.
You mentioned your crew chief. Can you talk just a little bit about the relationship and like dynamics between you guys and kind of the adjustment that it's been to now work with him this year and this season?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a new crew chief, it definitely takes a little bit of just getting used to. He's a really intense guy. He's from the Northeast, so I always joke with him. He's really intense. He's comes from a modified background, so it's funny. I give him a hard time about that. Um, but yeah, overall, it's really hard to fake trusting each other and having confidence in each other. So to me, I'm very thankful that we've had this stretch of races where I feel very confident in him, and hopefully he feels the same in me. So that's really really hard to get at the beginning of any relationship, just because you're not on the same page to begin with, and then things just maybe goes a separate way. But yeah, I feel very confident right now going to the racetrack with him and our team of guys.
And then one follow-up, just as a sophomore in this series, still kind of finding your way and obviously having to figure out a full race schedule. How much extra stress or pressure do you feel that that's added to your plate?
Yeah, I think I mean there's definitely some pressure when we were trying to find like fill-in races, but I don't know. I was just thinking about that this morning. I don't really feel like I've prepared any different or raced any different at all. It just um, I mean, it's been our cars have been faster, and our kind of communication has been better along the way. So yeah, I feel like that's racing in general, right? Sometimes you can prepare as much as you can, and you'll still run bad, and other times you'll feel a little bit underprepared, but still go out and run fast. So I'm just thankful for fast cars for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, hey, Todd, talk about the sort of the track diversity on this year's schedule. Both your top tens came from one, a road course in Coda, and then two at Bristol Dirt with your best finish of 8th place. Just yeah, talk about the schedule and what each track brings.
Yeah, I think for me, this is probably the most enjoyable part of the schedule for sure. Just it seems like the West Coast is kind of where you get your bearings of where the best teams are gonna be at, and from there it's really fun to go, Coda, I guess Atlanta, Coda, to a short track at Richmond, which I really love short tracks, just growing up racing those. Love the road courses and then the dirt race. I feel like, for Front Row Motorsports, that's where we kind of feel like, we can go and compete well, and we kind of need to perform well at those races, because there's going to be other places that maybe we aren't our best. So, I think it's just really good, but saying that and going out and doing it is a different thing. So it's been really nice to see us be able to execute that. But to me, I love just doing something different every week. If we ran 1.5 miles every single week, I'd be pretty bored out there.
Absolutely. Let's kick it to Kelly.
Thank you. Hey, Todd, you said a minute ago that your cars are faster. Just curious, is there something you can attribute that to from last year, or is it just a combination of executing better and maybe lessons from the first year with this car?
Yeah, I think I don't think there's really one thing that you can point it to. And I think that's racing in general. Just it's all the small details of it. I think I'm definitely in a better place than I was at this point last year, just having a year under my belt of knowing what to expect, kind of managing the race better from start to finish. These short practices, I know kind of more so of what I need, and I think the team does too. Like just the whole year of experience with the next gen car, we can get to a better place. So I think we've definitely been unloading faster, or just in a better place, like I said, with the year of notes. So yeah, I don't think it's one thing in particular. My crew chief is very detail oriented. He was the car chief on the 34 car last year, and I think just all that stuff has been really, really good to point us in a better direction.
What you said there about you being in a better place, I want to ask about that as well. Does it feel like you've already taken or made big gains from last year? You look at your finishes, a bunch of top 15s already. You've already got those 2 top 10s, which is what you had last year, and you've already, tied that. So does it feel like early in the season you've already made big gains from where you were last year?
Yeah, I think it does to me. Just, and like I said too, I feel like you could kind of picked out this part of the schedule where we might be stronger than say another section, but I am still really proud that we're able to go out there and do well. Kodo is, the road courses last year is where we were our best. So to get a good finish there, but yeah, I think especially over the duration of a month now that we've been running way better than we did last year. I think last year when we got those finishes, it was kind of random in my opinion. Like just one week we'd show up and be good, and then the next week we'd be really bad. So I think just to do it over 4 weeks against this type of competition, in my opinion, shows definitely a little bit of improvement.
I hate to ask this, but the increased performance, what you've been able to figure out, how much has Zane's presence with the team been a catalyst? Because you just think you're getting your feet wet. You're just getting acclimated to a team, to a series, to a car. And then, this is thrown at you, right? And you've handled it so maturely, at least from the outside looking in. But drivers tell us all the time that they give 110%, but when the revolving door of NASCAR at times, how much of that has just really made you focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like really the answer to that is that I really am been trying my 110%, right? Last year. And truthfully, I felt, there's always pressure. Like you said, there's always the next best guy coming up. So honestly, I feel like there's as much pressure last year as there is this year. I think this year it's maybe, I guess, more publicized, right? Because of it's all out there and all that. But I think there's always going to be another guy, right? Trying to get in your car and do the better job. So, yeah, but to me, it's just nice to be able to come out and have a better year, right? You never know. You try and make changes to be better. I try and be better, but maybe subconsciously a little bit I've been more focused, but honestly, I feel like I've been doing a lot of the same stuff. And I feel like honestly the truck team helps, just going out winning races. it brings a whole morale up in the shop that those are our standards, and to be the best we can.
Appreciate your time. Thank you and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Kelly, did you have a follow-up, or are you all set?
I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome. So I am wondering sort of what you expect with Martinsville this year. Not sure how much variance you see year to year, having ran there for quite a while now. And yeah, just talk about sort of your week, how you're prepping for it, and what do you expect with Martinsville?
I think Martinsville this year should be a little bit different with the lower downforce package that we're running there. So we'll see. I think that has helped. I feel like I noticed more of a difference at Richmond than Phoenix. So yeah, I think hopefully it'll be a good race. I love short track racing, like I mentioned earlier. It's just what I grew up doing. Just beating, banging. I feel like you can just do a lot more with the car. So should be a lot of fun. This race can usually go green. It gets pretty strung out, so it's really important to qualify good. I'd say that's where most of my studying is going into right now, is getting a good qualifying lap. We see guys lock up the left front tire a lot in qualifying, so just getting a good starting spot can really set you up good for the whole weekend.
Awesome. And then talk about the short track package. Less downforce. Is that something that kind of suits your driving style, or are you finding it a little bit more challenging? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't really been a huge difference for just single car driving by yourself. I'd like to think it's a little bit better in traffic, but yeah, for me, it's honestly not been a huge difference. So, but yeah, I'm hoping we can pass a little bit easier at Martinsville. I mean, it's all directionally the correct way of taking grip away. Hopefully, it's pretty interesting when these cars you can just downshift to fourth gear and pretty much mat the gas. That just shows really how much grip these cars have. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit less than that, and that'll be nice to hopefully get someone loose off the corner, be able to pass them. Maybe more separation within the field. Really that's what makes you be able to pass is when someone's slower by a couple tenths instead of half a tenth, which is really actually common at Martinsville. Is the field is so tight. That's what really makes it so tough to pass.
And then we talked about track diversity, from dirt now to a paved half mile, and then you get a super speedway following that. How does a driver adapt to just the sheer variance and differences that each race weekend brings?
Yeah, I think last year at this time, I was just, it really threw me for more of a loop, because you really are preparing for one thing and then completely different the next week. And then it seems like by the time you go to another road course, because COTA was just a couple weeks ago, it seems like it's completely washed out of your memory just because you've done so many different things since then. So but for me this year, I've been trying to plan more ahead, be more prepared. My team, my engineers have been giving me a lot more data and stuff to look at, the week of the race. So all that's been really good. I think, we're preparing more as a team rather than kind of two separate entities of driver and then team doing their own thing. So that's been really nice just to keep everyone on the same page. But yeah, it is still really tough, like especially on the teams. They're preparing a super speedway car right now and also a short track car at the same time. So I'd say it's more so hard on them than me.
And then Lee touched on sort of your maturity through this season. Has there been a defining moment where you feel like things are clicking a little bit more? And then what are your goals this year?
Yeah, I don't think there's really been like one moment that really made me feel more confident. I think it's just like anything, right? In any sport, it's just like a snowball of getting better and better, and sometimes like a little bit flakes off, you lose a little confidence, but you try and keep the ball rolling in the right direction. So for me, the last 4 weeks I've been really picked up a lot of momentum. So just the whole mood in the shop's been really good. That's been really cool. It's been giving me an opportunity to be more of a leader in the shop, just having better results to lift everyone up. So that's been really cool. And also Michael's been doing just as well, getting a top 10 also at Richmond. So yeah, really, I'm just proud of the whole team right now. They've been knocking out some fast cars, but yeah, I always try and be mature, try and take do the best I can, and just bring up the people around me.